Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Evaluative Evolution series. The garden is an evaluative evolution. This is part 2 of this conversation. We had a garden in the city for many years. The garden was on the street, right on the street. Tomato plants were over the wall into the road. Sometimes a car would park too close and run over a squash. I always kind of thought that was cool because it gave me like a talking point, right? Somebody comes by, not that I need this really, but somebody comes by and they like stop and lament the squished squash and be like, yeah, that's a bummer. And then we talk about the squash. You know, it's better than like the car that clearly was raked by somebody else's car the night before. Actually, no, that's kind of fun to talk about too. Um, well, hundreds of people would walk by our house every day. If I was there or if I saw someone stop, I would not infrequently go outside or, lift my head up from, beneath the wall or a big eggplant and startle the person. And I enjoyed doing that. And I would ask them if they would like something to add to their dinner that night. And I would say maybe some lettuce, and I would point to maybe some oak leaf lettuce or flashy gem or some arugula, whatever. Or maybe they'd like some beans. Or maybe they would like some peas if it's early in the season. Or chilies to spice things up a little bit. And it's not infrequent that I would get a reaction like, no thank you. But thank you, that's very generous of you. There was there was a lot of someone, let's say, just for example, someone says, yes, I would like lettuce. Okay, I reach down, I pull a head of lettuce out of the ground and I hand it to them. They reluctantly take the lettuce and kind of like, it's still dirty. Just an involuntary reaction to that. Hey, you want some beans? Yes. Would you like to pick the beans? Yes. Where are they? Oh, they're this is the thing that's hanging over your shoulders right now. These are the beans. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can just pick as many as you want. And they would look at the beans and be unable to see a bean. Maybe there's hundreds of beans in the wall, the curtain of beans. But they have never seen beans on a plant and could not recognize it in context rather than in a bin in the market. Other people would um, just say outright, no, no, thank you. Kind of the red light. And they would walk another 100 paces down the street and into the market, and then a few minutes later walk past our house, perhaps with some lettuce and beans and chilies. And some of the reasoning, I've had many of these conversations, is kind of like, well, I don't know where in your garden where it came from. I don't know what that's about. It's alien, it's unfamiliar. To avoid catastrophe in the na will require an evaluative evolution. The na is the accelerating coevolution of nature, humanity, and AI. An evaluative evolution contrasts with what we have now. It is my belief that the world we have built so far will not deliver a future that most of us want. Right now, we are, well, it's sort of like, just to stick with the garden thing, it's like if we were in a meadow that was open and there's a city behind us, in the meadow, waiting for a big vegetable garden farm to spring up spontaneously that will feed a city. It seems like we are in a place now where many of us are assuming, hoping, not questioning our assumptions about whether the world we have built will deliver a future we want, is capable of doing this. I think that if we keep waiting by the meadow for these vegetables to start popping out of the ground, a lot of us are just going to be hangry, you know. And a little reminder, it only takes a few hangry people to ruin an otherwise genial gathering. Right now we are hoping that our past, the past of powerful people and powerful structures and processes that have been put in place, that are delivering, that have created this world that we have right now, we're hoping that that and the artifacts of all of that that are left in our culture, our institutions, in our traditions, in our education systems, our healthcare systems, good Lord, all over the place, we're hoping that all of that will somehow, that was very effective at delivering what we have right now, will be effective at delivering a future that we want. We are being too passive. We are waiting around. We need an evaluative evolution. This will be a deep praxis that matches, is a good match for the Na. So this feature of our home, this accelerating coevolution of nature, humanity, and AI, this feature of our home, we need a way of navigating this time, this context that we are in, that is a good match for this context. And evaluative evolution will be disciplined, it will be systematic, it will be, our values will be prime time. And investigation, exploration, and understanding of them is required. And evaluative evolution will have visions. It'll be vision-based. It will be partnerships. It will be cooperation. It will be learning. It will be intentional. It will be about the whole and not only the parts. It will be more selfless than selfish. And evaluative evolution will learn more from nature, the garden, than from our infatuation with our own cleverness. And evaluative evolution will be about visioning a future we want and then working like the dickens to make it happen, people. Do it to it. So at this point in this writing, I thought I was going to go ahead and tell you in videos. I don't know what I'm doing here. But at this point, I thought I was just going to share everything that I've written about evaluative evolution. Like the what, how, why, all that. But guess who said no, no, no? The garden, right? The garden. Well, it whispered. It was kind of quiet about it. And then it yelled at me a couple times when I didn't want to listen. The garden is telling me that I don't know what an evaluative evolution is. I am coming to believe that is very much true. That I need to continue with this path of exploring relationships with the garden as a way to come to better understand what an evaluative evolution is, and hopefully begin conversations with others about that. It is an honor and a pleasure to have the opportunity to do it. I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Evaluative Evolution series.